Hi everybody, Stuff and Things back at it again with another video about skate gear. This time I want to talk about trucks. I recently got my first set of Grindking Lockers. I got them in blue and I got them in 825 to go on my Andy Anderson deck that I like the most out of the things that I ride. But before I put them on, I wanted to make sure that I'm comparing apples to apples, that I'm comparing just trucks and not some other factor of the skateboard or the setup. So I'm skating my board before I took the trucks off. These are Indy 144s, and this is what I've been skating on for a long time, and I'm super used to it. Wanted to make sure I could do some flat ground, and flat ground went fine. Got a few of the standard tricks that I like to do. Then it's time to get out the box, because if we're talking trucks, we really need to do a lot of grinds and slides. And another way I wanted to make sure I'm comparing things correctly is I wanted to go through tricks on the box, grinds and slides that use the trucks in different ways. I want to do nose slides. I want to do tail slides. I can only get into those from Nolly, but that's okay. I wanted to do 5-0s. I wanted to do nose grinds. I wanted to do crooked grinds, and I wanted to do 50-50s. All of those I thought are a good way to make sure that I'm testing all the different positions and parts of a skateboard truck and make sure that I can do it. Here, I'm trying to do nose grind with a shove it out, which I haven't done much. I think eventually I do get one, but it was a bit of a battle. It'll be interesting when we get onto the Grind Kings. Nose grinds were a pretty good thing to test on my old Indies. There, we finally landed the one with the shove. On my old Indies, sometimes nose grinds can be a little bit grippy, a little grabby on the edge of my angle iron on my box. Okay, now I've moved the box to the other side of the garage to try some different things, and I figured, you know what, let's try front crook. I've only done a few of those, and I got a couple on the old Indies, so that was nice. I haven't done that one in a good while. And then we got some 50-50. The first one I tried, I had to do the nollie pivot out. Then I finally got out going straight. So I'm doing some pretty standard stuff, nollie slappy tail there, which I love, and I'm trying some front side nose grind, and I can't really do this trick. I'm terrible at it. I don't even know if I've really landed any. Gave myself a really good shinner there. That one hurt. How did I do that second try? How can I do? I'm not good at those. What the heck? There I got frontside 5-0 second try, which is crazy. I don't normally do those, and I've always thought of myself as bad at 5-0s, but apparently I'm getting a lot better because I got a few more because I felt so good about getting one second try. I was like, let's see if I can get it again. And I did. I got a handful of them on this day, so I really need to stop telling myself that I can't do frontside 5-0. And so there's one more, and toward the end here I flipped the camera around for a different angle. Got probably the cleanest one I got throughout the entire session. All right, now look at that pretty blue underneath my skateboard. I liked the blue trucks that come from Grind King. They're pretty cool looking in this nice light blue. So I've got the Grind King lockers on the board for the first time, and I'm just trying it out. I did tighten the trucks a little bit. I think I gave both trucks a half turn. The trucks as they came out of the box were super loose in my opinion because I like a little bit of a stiffer truck, but I'm getting better and better at riding trucks more like in the middle, like medium instead of tight. And so far, doing some flat ground didn't really feel different. Everything felt fine. I wasn't like, oh, these trucks feel weird. Something weird is going on. I got a heel flip, and that's a good thing because heel flips have been a struggle lately. And then going into kick flips, I didn't have any weirdness where I was thinking, oh, this truck feels different. This feels weird. So that's really encouraging right away that flat ground didn't seem different to me. All right, let's go to the box. And something I wanted to look at before I started grinding is that the Grind Kings have that little notch underneath and also this little pointy section. right up next to the wheel there, you can see that there's like this little point, and that's what's in contact with the angle iron right now. And I was kind of like, I don't know how this is going to behave. Is it going to cause more friction, less friction? Will it feel about the same? Will it want to lock into this position? I'm not sure. So this was something that I really wanted to like look at before I started, and then look at like the grind marks and everything and see what's going on and see how everything feels as we get into this. All right, so let's get into it. I started off with backside nose slide, and right away it felt pretty good. It felt like when the base plate comes in contact with the side of the iron, that it was sliding really well. It wasn't grabby in any way, and that was one of the things I wanted to test. That's why I'm doing nose slides. Wanted to see what that base plate feels like, and so far, feels really good. So then I'm going into some other grinds. I wanted to do backside 50-50, and there I got kind of a cross lock, and I was surprised how even in a cross lock or kind of a weird lock, they are pretty stable. They do kind of hold that spot as long as you get into a spot that you're comfortable with and where you can keep your balance. Other trucks might try to slide and wander around a little bit, but once you get the Grind Kings into their position, it does feel like they hold it pretty well. I'm into crooked grinds here, and on my first day, I was thinking that crooked grinds had a little bit of extra friction, and I was not really sure why that's happening, but I felt like I had to go fast, that I had to almost lean back just a little bit more than my normal. And I've waxed everything up like I usually do, and I wasn't sure, and there's a nice crash there, and you'll see the evidence from it for the rest of the day because my pants are all dirty. But I felt like there was a little bit more friction than on my old Indies going for crooked grinds. Not that I couldn't do them, just that there was a little bit more grab, a little bit more friction coming right out of the box. I got a pretty decent backside nose grind there, and nose grinds are pretty tough. They're not easy. I can do them backside, but not super great. I bonked on that one, but one of the things I liked about nose grinds was it did feel like they were less grippy than the Indy trucks. And maybe it's that little knob that I was talking about, that little high point. They actually felt pretty good. Now on the Indies, I was able to get a backside Susky without too much trouble, and I was pretty happy with that. I could not for the life of me get a Susky on the Grind Kings. Now, was that me? Was that the trucks? It could be me because I think I was over-rotating them too much and I would slip out to tail, but that is a bit of a mystery still so far for me. So here I've turned the box around so we can go front side. That was sort of like almost a front side feeble, but not quite because my front truck wasn't locked in, but my back truck was. Then we got into some front 50-50s. These felt really good as well. I'm surprised how comfortable 50-50s feel on the Grind Kings. I don't know if I'm hitting that groove spot necessarily, but they do seem really stable. Like they're staying in the spot that they're supposed to. I came into, wanted to do some more 5.0s like I had the other day because I was saying I can't do 5.0s, but I can, and I did them on the Grind Kings as well. Then I'm going for front crook, and front crook felt about the same as with the Indies. You know, it's a hard grind to get into and to hold, and I got a couple of them, and I was really happy that I got a couple of them. Pretty pleased with that, even though they're a little slow and they don't grind far, but that's what I can do right now. So here I am again with nollie slappy tail, and they were sliding really well. Is that a base plate thing, or is it just me? I don't know, but they were going really great. I tried a frontside nose grind, never got one again, but it's a good thing I tried just for the sake of the test. Then we're going to get into something different. I'm going to mess around a little bit. I wondered if I could take an element from freestyle, a river dance, where, you know, you're standing on the tail, and then basically you hop and switch feet, and you're still standing on the tail, but now with the other foot. But could I do this from a tail slide position? And there was part of me that was like, sure, I should be able to do this. That shouldn't be very hard. It was so much more of a battle than I thought. I tried this for probably a half hour straight until I could get something even close. The weight distribution has to be just perfect between like your toes and heels to get it to actually work. And I still couldn't continue my slide. I think I need a longer ledge to be able to actually pull this off correctly one of these days. but I'll stick with it. Here's one of the better ones I got. I would love to someday maybe find a nice long ledge or curb and actually make this work. All right, now we're gonna keep the test going, but this is weird. Hey, those aren't the Grind Kings. This is my other setup. This is the Jason Park board that I made a video about, doing a setup video with some Q&A, and I wanted to try this out in this video for a reason. These are relatively new, well, they're virtually new, Indy 149s, because this is an 8.5 board. I've had these trucks for a little while on like a cruiser type setup, and now I moved them to this board. So they've never grinded or anything, and I wanted to try it out, one, to see if I like the 8.5 board, and two, to see what new Indy trucks feel like for grinds and slides. Does it feel like the Grind Kings? Does it feel like a broken in pair of Indies? Or does it feel like a whole completely different thing? So here I'm doing just flat ground again, making sure I can still do all the basic tricks. I got a couple really good kick flips. These two here were good. I could not do a heel flip this day. Is it the board? Is it the fact that it's bigger, wider, or is it just me? Or do I suck at heel flips these days? My kick flips are getting better, so that's something. So I'm starting things off with the crooked grind, and the crooked grind seemed like it slid really well on these new Indies, even though they don't have a crook groove. Now, they were a little less stable. The truck would sort of wiggle and wander around in the crook position, but it was also very fast, it felt like, in a crook. 50/50s felt about the same. Here I am going for the Susky again, because I wanted to know, is it the Grind Kings or is it me? But I did fix a couple of things about my approach to doing it, and realized that I was over-rotating and not really committing quite right. I almost got the version where I come out with a back 180, and then on this one, I finally do actually get that, even though the landing is sketchy and my arms went everywhere. So I'm going to try a couple nose slides again. They just felt like nose slides. I didn't notice that the base plate felt really different from the Grind Kings. And I was surprised that with nollie back tail not being on the Andy Anderson board, that I was able to get these fairly quickly, and I got it both ways, out to regular and out to fakie. So now we're gonna go back to the other side so I can go front side. I've got a front side 50/50 there. Then I went front side 50 and ended up half flipping the board, which is crazy. And then this. No way. Did I seriously just roll away from that? My shoelace broke? Yeah, so I did not expect that. I didn't lock into my 50/50. I ended up front feeble for a second, and then like front board, and then coming out fakie. I don't think I could do that again if I wanted to. And then even on this kind of different setup, I got two front crooks again, and they were a little harder to get. I had to battle that for a little while, but I did get there. And then nollie slappy tail, of course. And for some reason, I felt like playing with nollie slappy tail again. It's just been such a fun feeling trick the last couple of days. So I decided I was going to try to 270 shove out of it. I've done this before, but it is pretty tough. I got one there that's okay. It was a little under-rotated, but I landed. I'm going to take it. And then just today, I wanted to revisit the Grind Kings one more time. I loosened them by a quarter turn to make it so that I am riding looser trucks, that I forced myself to do that. And it might have helped, because my crooks right away, those are the first two crooks I tried for the day, and I got both of them. And I had a couple really good crooks, even some really good exits out to regular, which is harder to do. And I did notice that this time with the Grind Kings on their second day, that the crooked grinds going across the angle iron felt better, not as grippy as I thought they were on the first day. So maybe I've already broken them in a little bit, even got one out to shove there, which was kind of nice. And today I was feeling a little bit silly, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do a wheelie grind. And I got a few good ones backside from regular. I even tried it, well, this is first a fakie 50/50 with a frontside 180 out. Then I was like, okay, I should do a fakie wheelie. I don't think I've ever done that. And it's a lot harder than I expected, but it was fun to try. I love trying new things, and I fall a lot. When I get my weight going a little too far forward, I had this happen a number of times where I would slip out and fall. I don't know why a grind like a wheelie grind that I enjoy, that I think is fun, is so much harder when you flip it around and go do it just the opposite direction. It should be doable, but man, this was tough. There's a few here where I give it a little tap, maybe I get a little bit of a grind, but then I end up shifting my weight to my right foot and rolling away that way. I mean, it's close, it's progress, and it was something new to try and something kind of fun. And I decided before I flip the box around, let's see if I can do a switch front wheelie. I've never done this before. I've done switch back wheelie on accident. I kind of got one or two, but I ended up kind of nudging the box with my back foot. Again, still just fun to mess around with, fun to try. Now I got the box going the other way. Let's do a front side wheelie. And I got a couple of those, not too bad, but my back wheels are dragging on the ground a lot, but still having a good time. And then this is the one I've done before, the switch backside wheelie with a pivot out. And that was the best one I got. I ended up doing the sort of walk-up 50-50 that I've done before from switch and going into a 50-50 grind. So it was kind of fun to be able to still do that. I tried fakie backside. Man, this was hard. I could barely even like start it. And if I did, a lot of times my truck would stick and I wouldn't slide anywhere. And then I was just sort of feeling those crooked grinds, and so I wanted to go into the back 180 crooked grind. That's one of my favorite things to do if I can get one. For some reason, this was quite the battle, and I don't think it was the trucks. I think it was just me and my like weight distribution and balance, but I finally did get one that I was pretty happy with.
That was a fight. That was a big one.
So that's my first experience with the Grindking Lockers. Here's a damage report on what they look like now. This is my back truck, and you can see a couple of spots where I'm starting to cut into them a little bit and wear them in. I think this area right here was when I was trying Susky grinds and trying to get maybe a groove going in there. Maybe that'll help in the future. And then here's the front truck. There's a lot more wear so far on this one because I've done so many things that focus on the front truck like crooks and wheelies, but it's looking like I would expect. Right here is the signs of starting to make a crook groove. It's wearing in that one little area and kind of across the front of the truck. That's definitely crooked grind territory. And so overall, I like the Grindking Lockers quite a bit. I think they're doing well for flat ground. They don't feel super different. They're not throwing me off. And in grinds and slides, they do feel cozy. When you lock in that spot, it does kind of want to hold you in there. And they slide pretty well. Nose grinds were kind of evidence of that they want to go. They want to give you that grind. And I'm enjoying them so far, and I'll be skating them for a little while. And so I'll leave you there with this other wacky accidental trick that I did that I probably couldn't do again if I tried. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.